Bryan, I had a friend message me early this morning and said, Andrew, what do you think about the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight? And the first response I had to give to him was, man, I'll tell you what, I don't wake up every day excited to bet against the Boston Bruins. I don't think anybody really does. It's not really something that I'm eager to do, not really something I'm looking to do most of the time. I guess this friend was looking to do that tonight and thinking that it was a good spot for Tampa Bay at home. What do you think here? Boston and Tampa go head to head.
Yeah, should be a great one. I just did want to comment about the charity situation. I know Johnny's big at going to strip clubs. Him and his buddies in Detroit. I just want to confirm, charity is not one of the dancers at one of the strip clubs for Johnny. That's what we've understood. He likes Britney. Anyway, this is a terrific hockey game. I'm so excited about this one. Unfortunately, I'm having a hard time deciding. Do you go against Boston the way they played all year? Tampa's they've won 10 straight at home or nine straight or something to that effect. I had a 5% play in Tampa a couple days ago. It worked out really well for me, and I appreciate that effort out of the Lightning. But I'm really having a hard time in this one. I think possibly the under. I'm not a totals guy, but possibly the under because of the meaning of this game. But I wish I had more to add, but my numbers show the game is pretty much a pick 'em. The way the teams are playing, I don't want to go against either one of them, so I don't have much to add on this one.
Carm, obviously it's a tough one, and I know you select the games that are primetime games and great ones to speak of. We try and find different angles to look at here, and I guess one thing that we can mention is that Boston, they might not have had a full 100% effort. It looked like against Montreal, but they find a way to win. And I tweeted this out after their game, and it's something I think is really important because a lot of people talk about the President's Trophy jinx and curse and stuff like that at the end of the season. Of course, I'm just joking when I actually say there's some type of curse. But when you look at a team that's so dominant all year long, sometimes near the playoffs, it might not always be a great thing. You want a team to go through adversity. But here's the thing with Boston. They win a lot of close games. I believe they're number one in the league in third period goals. They're a team that doesn't just win every game 4-1, right? They're a team that knows how to win. They play a very close system. And I can't see this game being a high-scoring contest. I like the under. I think that when you see two teams of this caliber with two great goaltenders and they know what's on the line, this is obviously a lot more of an important meeting for these teams than a couple of the games that they've each had recently. I think we see some defense here. I would actually lean towards the home team, but guys, I don't want to step in front. Look at the card tonight. Out of all the games tonight, I don't really feel like I'm stepping in front of the Boston Bruins. But we always talk about shots on goal props, Carm. David Pastrnak, he has a better record right now in his last 10 games with his goal prop than he does with his shots on goal. He's got a goal in 7 of his last 10 games. What do you think about this one, though, Bruins and Lightning?
Yeah, listen, this is the toughest game on the card tonight, and it's one that I actually like because of it. But it is tough because you might look at it and say Tampa Bay 10 straight wins on home ice. It's equally as impressive. The Boston Bruins 9-0-1, 1 OT loss, 9 wins in their last 10 on the road. This team is proving, and I always think it's. If you're like, and that's why Boston are where they are right now. If you can do that on the road, that's ultra impressive. That tells me you're a good team. You look at the opening number on this one, and Tampa opened up at minus 115. It's now Boston 115. So a little bit of money sprinkling in on the Boston Bruins. Not a big movement. I don't expect to see a big movement, but given the numbers I just quoted, that line moving to where it is right now is, I think you have to consider that. That is kind of a big movement. There has been no movement on the total. It opened up at 6, minus 120 to the over, briefly went to 115 and then back to 120. And it's because you got two very good goalies in there. If you have Ullmark and Vasilevsky, we know how Vasilevsky has been at home over the last couple of years, almost unstoppable. But then you have Ullmark, who has 2 losses and I think 25 wins. This is such a good game. I'm not actually jumping in front of a falling knife by taking the Bruins against Tampa Bay because I have a knife that's going the other way with the Bruins team that have won, that have gone 9-0-1 their last 10 on the road. The great thing is, Andrew, this is a preview of the second round of the playoffs, because after Tampa Bay knocks off the Toronto Maple Leafs, like we expect them to, these two teams will meet in the second round of the NHL playoffs. So it's lean on the Boston Bruins for me tonight.
Would not shock me to see that matchup in the playoffs, that's for sure, and it will be a good one. I want to throw something back at you, Carm. The Boston Bruins are plus 450 to win the Stanley Cup, and they are plus 270 to win their conference. They are right now having a more dominant season than Colorado had last year at this current point. It was pointed out to me by Jeff Dawson and somebody on Twitter that's in the sports betting industry, and he said to me, "What do you think about this and the respect or disrespect they're getting from the odds makers compared to like a team like Colorado was dominating last year, but they had a way different number?" I mean, I know it's people love to look for these long shots, but when it comes down to it, plus 450 for a Boston Bruins team to win the Stanley Cup right now, I think Kevin Dolan has something like 25-1 or 21-1. So obviously that's a little bit different, but where it stands right now, does that seem like the price that it should be? I know the Eastern Conference is deep, but what do you think? And then we'll get Brian's thoughts.
It is tough, because we saw with Colorado, they had a phenomenal season, and they sort of slowed down at the end of the season and ended up losing the President's Trophy, which is probably a good thing, because it seems to be a jinx that comes with the President's Trophy, that the team that wins it does not win the cup. I think you have to go back to, I think it's the 12-13 or 13-14 season. I think it was when it was the Blackhawks who won the President's Trophy and won the cup. But it's just they're playing phenomenal hockey, and I was completely wrong. I didn't expect them to have the season that they're having right now. When you look at the 270 as opposed to like the 450, I would be more inclined to take the 270 because and it's the lower price, but you're going to have to face likely a team like Colorado in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm still adamant that it'll be the Avalanche in the finals, and I think winning a tough East and then having to win a tough Cup final might be too much to ask, and I'd want much more than plus 450. Kevin Dolan got the best price, unbelievable on him. I thought he was drinking Middleton's rare whiskey when he came out with that play, Andrew. But with that said, listen, the East is super tough. Look at the teams in this East, and the Bruins are going to have to go through a lot of good teams, even in the wild card round. If they finish first, which we expect them to, the wild card round, they're going to get a very tough team. And then they'll get to the winner of Tampa and in Toronto. And then waiting for them is going to be one of New Jersey, Carolina, New York Rangers. These are absolutely tough matchups, and it's why the East is such a tough division to win. I think I need more than plus 270 to win the Eastern Conference.
Brian, what do you think here? I mean, is it something that you'd be interested in now, or do we kind of miss the ship? I just took a look at it, and I just think that obviously there's different teams we can look at with bigger prices. But as far as how they've played, is that a number that's still worth it?
Yeah, at this point of the season, you don't really want to play the favorites. You want to take a look at the underdogs if you're looking for futures. You're probably better off. I haven't done the numbers, but you're probably better off just rolling it over. Just
Right.
play on them, and then whatever you win, play again. The number he got on Boston was pretty impressive. I had him at 30-1. Problem was I had him last year at 30-1. We had a great number last year. They didn't do it for us, and it kind of hurt this year. But yeah, if you haven't gotten double digits out of Boston at this point, I would just let it roll, let it ride through the playoffs. And that's the thing with the East is whoever they play in the second, third round, whatever they end up playing, those are really good teams. And they all have playoff experience. So anything can happen. We've seen Boston. They were unbelievable earlier in the season. The last month, they've been good. They haven't been as good as they were before, but still finding ways to win. We haven't seen them on a slump yet and playing bad. Mm-hmm. It's an 82-game season. I don't remember the last time I saw a team go through the entire season without having some sort of a slump. So you're buying high, sort of like the stock market. You're buying high if you're going to bet Boston right now at 450.
I'll tell you one thing I really do like is Allmark to win the Vezina Trophy at -150. You're pretty much betting on him to not get injured at that price. I mean, for the way he's playing, -150, I think is a pretty good number.